So, for this week as a group, you are going to design a cover page and table of contents for your special issue. So, it doesn't take too many pieces to put together, but it is something that you have to agree on as a group and submit the two pages, your cover and your table of contents. And so I just wanted to show you a couple examples of what those look like from Scientific American, and yours don't have to be as professional as some of the actual articles or magazines. But as you can see up here, I have five examples, and two of them are student examples, and three of them are from the regular magazine. Um, so it's really just picking an image, making sure you have your logo on there, some indication of what's actually going to be in the magazine, date, and bringing it all together in a readable, strategic manner. But you guys aren't graphic designers, and I'm not teaching you graphic design. So, as long as there is an attempt at including all of these elements, that's what I'm looking for this assignment. This is a student example of a health and wellness issue that they created. So, you'll see they do have their overall title, The Science of Health and Wellness, Fitness, Nutrition, and Well-Being. They have a couple of their articles listed here, but not all of them because that would take up the whole page. So, trying to pick some of your bigger ones or the things that you think would catch your reader's attention the most. There's a big image in the back, and they've really spent a lot of time making sure that you could read the text. The different sizes of fonts, the different colors with the image in the background. And then they have the date. And so, as long as you have those few things, you will have all the pieces together. Here's another one that a group did that turned out really well. Um, they really didn't put too many indications of what was inside the issue, but kind of generalized their ideas together. The image shows that there could be a lot going on within health wise. Um, Also, the date and the logo and the title are on there. This one is another group, and this one was a little bit harder to read. So they did get a couple points taken off for not really considering the colors, or maybe making this picture behind a little more transparent, or picking a simpler image that didn't have so much of that black and white. Also, the yellow was a little bit difficult, but they have all the components. Overall, they did a great job. And here's another one that's a student's completed. And these fonts here, you see, it's a great idea. It matches the picture here, but they get a little bit difficult to read, especially this smaller size down here. So really thinking about that, making sure that you're making it a little bit larger, choosing things that are a little more solid or bold, and that the colors really are readable with the picture in the background. And sometimes it's just moving the text to the black spaces. Here's some actual examples from Scientific American magazine so you can see kind of what they have going on. Sometimes they list their sections or a couple of things like this. You can have lines separating them, but you don't have to. Another strategy is to have your different sections across the top with maybe an idea or a title of one of your articles from within each. Also, notice that there is really just one picture on each cover, so don't feel like you have to find a bunch. Actually, the more that you have on there, the more difficult it becomes to match with the text. Here's another one that was from the actual magazine. Again, they have the sections at the top, so that's a great way to make sure that you can read what they say and keep them kind of out of the picture. And then your title can be the big thing that goes over the picture. The Scientific American logo, you can type or create your own, or if you go to Google and just say Scientific American transparent logo, there's actually one you can copy and paste, and then that will go into your image without any white spots or a white square behind it. It'll just fit right in, and then you can layer if you like. That's something that a lot of students would do in PowerPoint. Um, Canva.com, it's like Canvas without the S, is a great free resource for that. Um, Pictochart is another one, and some people just do it in Word, so it doesn't have to be too complicated. Some of the tables of contents you'll see, these are student examples. So you can add a couple more pictures here if you want that kind of align with your articles. Making sure that you do have the page number, the title, your summaries just from your letter that you wrote. And I do want to see the author's name with it as well. Here's another one. They omitted the author's names that I would like for you to insert, but otherwise, really thinking about your table of contents as connecting with the visuals, but also telling a story. So strategically placing your articles in a way that is helping readers gain understanding as they move from one to the next or moving from different sections and connecting them. So not just listing them in a random order, but I really want to see that your group is thinking about that. Here's another example that students did, and they were a small group of two, and so they ended up tying in a story that they felt connected to all of the articles, kind of a personal empathy strategy, which they were trying to be creative with. So it's not something that you have to do, but interesting to see. And here's another one from a group, and they do have their author names on here, which is why I like to show it. But not as readable as some of the other ones with the pictures in the back, even though I do really like the pictures. So these are the actual cover examples from Scientific American. You'll see that they have the section headers if there are some, the titles, the summaries, and then the authors in there next to the page numbers. So that's something you can do. Some students like to add this on the cover and talk a little bit about it. That's not something that you have to do. You don't have to add the number, volume, um, or issue numbers up there or down here, just as long as you have your page numbers, the titles, the summaries, the author names, and then if you do have sections, having those headers in there too. Here's another one, so you can see it doesn't have to just be in the same layout. Your picture can be abstract or realistic. You can have more than one or just one. The articles can go above, below, or to the side. All of those are things that your group can decide on. It doesn't have to be one certain way, and you won't be counted off for trying different things with that. Here's another one that shows you one of the more popular formats that they use. Um, and that's all. So I'll post this um, PowerPoint in here if you want to see, but this just shows you kind of the two things you have to have as your group. Google Docs is another thing that you can do if you want to be working on it at the same time. Canva also lets you share and work on the document at the same time, just like Google Docs, so that if one person's adding something, or if you divide up the tasks, you can all kind of see who's done what and where it's looking right now, how it's looking, to add to it rather than each person, one person adds the picture and then sends it on, and then one person adds the text and sends it on, and one person moves it around. So you can do it that way too. Sometimes it's easiest to divide up, especially if you have a group of four where two people are working on the table of contents and two people are working on the cover. That's fine as long as they look like a cohesive unit. So you want to make sure that they aren't just using completely different fonts and colors and ideas, but they're really tying together. Um, so then you'll just submit one of these per group, and then I'll be able to kind of give you some feedback on that before the final is due, so that you guys can make any revisions that you might want to before that time. So I look forward to seeing your cover and table of contents.